Good evening, sports fans. Welcome into Coach's Corner West. I'm at the Pizza Hut in Galleon. I'm your host tonight, Mike Sparks, filling in for Dan Messerschmidt, who's on another assignment. It is Monday, the 7th of February, as we get to wind down winter sports season here in the next couple of weeks. Tournament draws have been done, and it should be an exciting time as we get ready to wrap up winter sports. Our show is brought to you in part by Vince Ponziani and Associates at Wakecraft Industries, Rod Steiger and Associates at Pizza Hut here in Bucyrus and Galleon, our host of the show since 1992, and the Burkhart family at Burkhart Farm Sales, your Case IH dealer on the Manette, New Winchester Road. Bucyrus normally starts our program each and every week. However, all of their teams have commitments tonight, so no Bucyrus representation. And then we kind of moved Buckeye Central from the third spot up to the first, and Winford will be our second spot. Winford, it'll be a little different tonight. It was girls' night, but they have some previous commitments, so it'll be their fourth grade girls team will be in and talk to me here in just a little bit, and it's boys basketball with the Bucks of Buckeye Central tipping off the show, and we'll get started with them here in just a moment. The show is brought to you in part by Blythe Friedley and Todd McDougal at Friedley & Company Insurance, New Washington, Ted Coder at Monarch Body Shop, New Washington, as well as the Ohio State University at Marion, a Big Ten education close to home. I'd like to welcome to our microphone its assistant boys basketball coach, Chris Moyer. Coach Moyer, thanks for coming out tonight. I certainly appreciate you giving up your time.
Thanks for having us.
You bet. And taking a look at your team at this point, 4-13 overall, 3-8 in the Northern 10 Conference, and going back to some recent games, back on the 29th of January, not that long ago, you defeated Seneca East 47-46, a real tight game. What was it about that game that kind of made it that tight, and how you pulled away at the end to get a victory?
We actually played well the first three quarters. If I remember correctly, we were at 13-14, and it starts with our defense. That's always where it starts at. We only scored 2 points in the fourth quarter to win that game. Started missing some shots, started turning the ball over, but we made 2 big free throws there with under a minute and a half to go, I believe, to win the game. But you see our scores. Obviously, we struggle to score the ball. We defend very well. That's why we compete so many games, is because we do defend. And unfortunately, the ball doesn't go in a lot for us. We get some good looks, and we just struggle to score all year.
Yeah, I actually, not to go too far back, but I did see your game at Winford and was impressed, certainly on the defensive end. But it's a pesky group. It's a group that's determined. It's a group that plays with a lot of passion. And you say, like you say, sometimes the ball doesn't go in. Yep. But I don't think there would ever be a Buckeye Central team that would hang their heads and say, we're tapping out. It's just not going to work out for us tonight. We're going to go home and try to regroup. You stay within it.
Yeah, and that's a testament to the kids. Our record isn't anywhere where we want to be at, but they haven't stopped. Monroeville, talk about Monroeville. We were down 1 point with a little over 2 minutes to go and missed about a 12-footer to take the lead. That's a game. That's a 2-loss team that we're playing there, and the kids just compete, and it's a testament to them and how they were raised the right way. It doesn't matter what the record is. You go out each night and you compete.
Yeah, that's a really good Monroeville team out of the Firelands Conference. You mentioned there are only 2 losses to Western Reserve and to South Central. I've also seen them this year. Isaac Rader's a real deal. And you had to go back-to-back with a guy like Mason and then to face Isaac Rader in back-to-back games. That's a stretch on any defense, let alone a team that has some trouble scoring points. Were you happy with the performance on both Mason and Rader, even though one came out a loss, one came out a win?
Yeah, Mason had 46 on us the first time we played him, and told coach we did a good job of winning and holding him under 50. But we changed it up a little bit. Some of our coverages, Casey had a big part to do with that. I don't know, 26 maybe, Casey? 27, but high value, and then we go against Rader. Rader had 19 at the half against us. We held him to 10 in the second half. He's just, for 4 years watched him, he's just a really good athlete. He's a tough cover. I seen they played, who did they play the other night? Portland, right? Portland couldn't stop him either. He had 24, 26 that night as well. It's good kids. But our kids are up to the challenge. They want it. They were upset Mason scored 46 on his first time. And, he hit 8 threes, and a testament to the kid. That kid has worked very hard in his game, and he's just a bundle of energy.
Yeah, no question. Friday, Winter Storm Landon decided to postpone everything. You were supposed to be on the road at Cary. That game is now going to be a week from this Wednesday. So we will look forward to that one. And then Saturday, you have to go over to Upper Sandusky, a team that is playing well. Let's face it, they're one of the stronger teams in Northern 10 Conference. They beat you by 30, 72 to 42. And with them, it just seems, if they get a little bit of a run, it's like a rock going downhill. It goes really, really fast, doesn't it?
And that's exactly what happened. We were up 25-23 late in the second quarter. They hit, I think, 3 straight threes, and all of a sudden it's 38-30 at the half, and they come out in the third quarter. They just wear you down, with full court man pressure, what Winslow's staple, Coach Winslow's staple, and unfortunately we ran out of gas, and that's the easy way to say it. Tough week for everybody with the weather,
right? And
no practice. Tuesday was our last day, but everybody's in the same boat. But it definitely, Upper does a nice job to get the kids to buy in and defend the way they do.
No question. And despite the record, and as you mentioned, it's not exactly where you want it to be, a very senior-heavy class. A lot of seniors on this group that have gone through a lot of games and gone through a lot of experiences. What have you, as an assistant coach to Coach Howell, been pleased about this group, despite the fact that the wins haven't been where you wanted them to be?
Number one, I've been at Buckeye since they were freshmen. I was with Coach Ripplesheimer, now Coach Howell. It's just watching them grow. The kids are all good kids. Casey and Grahm, Elliott's not here with us. They're all in National Honor Society. So are a couple of the other teammates. They're good kids. They've worked hard. They're competing every night. The ball hasn't bounced our way, and they still come to practice and work every day. And that's as a coach, that's all you ask. Let's go and compete every day.
Yeah,
they've done a good job.
Good for them. Okay, we're going to take a break here, and we'll talk to the two-thirds of the Geissman family here, and we'll talk to them in just a moment. We're brought to you in part by Mike Kleinheit at AgCredit Residential Lending, DeCyrus, Mount Gilead, and Marion, Dr. Thomas M. Britton at Clubview Vision Center, and Llewellyn Krebs at Rivers Edge Embroidery, screen printing and signs, Route 309, across from the Marion Depot, as well as Doug Lutholt and Adam Weisner and Associates at Advanced Fiber Technology, Coach Tim Plumley at Mohican Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation, Matt Studer at Spitzer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram and Kia, 1 mile east of the Richland Mall, and first up, Casey Geissman. And Casey, so much, appreciate you so much for coming out tonight. And, it's not the way I'm sure you wanted your senior year to go. Senior year is always special, right? But that being said, to play with all these seniors that you have, 2 of which are your brothers, how special has that been for you?
Yeah, it's been nice to play with them all throughout my high school career.
Yeah, and you got some games left to take care of that we're going to talk here a little bit about. So, as I mentioned to Coach, I was impressed with the way you guys played. It was tenacity. It was an attitude, right? And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. It's an attitude that says, even though we're not scoring right now, we'll do something to help make this game stay close. Is that something Coach Howell's instilled in you, or has this come from learning through coaches and just kind of coming up in the Buckeye system years over years?
I would say last year we kind of didn't have that as much as we did this year. We kind of built off last year to where, we're not having a lot of games where we're getting blown out. We're just able to somehow stay in these games and find a way to crawl back and give ourselves a chance at the end. I'm just really proud of our team for playing that way this year.
Yeah, what's the message your senior group has given to specifically the younger kids on the team to say, hey, listen, this is what we have to do. Keep plugging. You guys are going to be okay. What kind of message are you telling them?
Just to know, before every game, every game's a game we can win. There's no game we can't compete in. And that's what I think we really have focused on this year is when we're going up against, Crawford and Upper, there's no reason we can't hang in there, and that's what we've done.
I've always said teams that maybe don't have as strong a record during the regular season can sometimes be the scary ones when they get into the tournament, especially when they're going up against teams that on paper you say, well, we can beat them, but boy, things get a little tighter, the stakes are higher, and that's when you can take advantage of that and say, hey, listen, we have nothing to lose. Have you started talking about that in practice now with the rest of your team that, listen, we're coming in right to the right time. Nobody's expecting us to win. This is when we can take hold of it.
Yeah, a little bit. I think these next 5 games, I think we really just need to focus on playing better so we can get to that point. When we're at the tournament, we're playing our best basketball. we kind of fly under the radar and maybe steal a game or two.
Yeah, that's a great attitude. Very good. Well, I appreciate you coming out. Best
you,
of luck,
Grahm.
and you bet. Enjoy the rest of your year.
Thank you.
You bet. Next up, Grahm Geissman. And Grahm, welcome to the show tonight. I certainly appreciate you giving up your time. And a similar question to what I asked your brother here is how special has this been to be able to share this with your two brothers for all these years? And it's coming down to the home stretch here. What's that been like for you?
Well, thanks for having me. And yeah, it's been really special to play with my brothers for the whole time I played basketball. And it's coming down to the end, but it's always been great, and it's just a special time.
Is there a lot of competition among the three of you that, one says, well, I'm better at this than you are, or I can do this better than you can, or is there a lot of that competition at home? And do you take that into the practice in the game as well?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that at home, I'd say. I don't know, I mean, we were always button heads all the time. Not afraid to get after each other in practice. Yeah, I remember a couple times this year when Casey got at it in practice. Yeah, just kind of bring that into the game and kind of use it as like a little muscle.
Yeah, but because you're brothers and you spend so much time together, can you also see when one's dragging a little bit or down a little bit, and you know how to pick that brother up and get him going again?
Yeah, you can see that. It's not always the easiest to do that, but yeah, try to pick each other up. They seem like they're struggling a little bit.
Sure.
So.
Now things are winding down here, as you mentioned, just about 5 games left in the tournament, and you want to savor every moment because this is so special. The time that you get to play athletics in high school, it goes so quickly, as I'm sure your whole senior year has probably flown by, right? What are you going to do to kind of savor these last few games and really take it all in?
Just take it one game at a time and just really soak it in and just let it watch everything. Just do everything you can to play as hard as you can to just enjoy these last 5 games we got.
And don't take anything for granted, right? That's right, because it can end in a moment's notice. So, well, you've got a special opportunity, not only because, again, of being a senior and going through it all, but to play with your brothers and not only your biological brothers, but your brothers in arms, and that's a pretty special thing. And being a strong senior class, a lot of different seniors, I think it just got a lot of great opportunities. So we wish you the best of luck. And make some noise in the tournament. We'll be glad to cover you guys as long as you want to go, and make some noise, be dangerous, and have a lot of fun with it.
Thank you.
You bet, I appreciate it. We're going to take another break here before we come back to Coach up here. And our show is brought to you in part by Rob Lust at Edgefield Animal Clinic in Marion, Matt Ramsey, John Ziegler, Drew Young, Frank Heinlein and Associates at Bucyrus Blade, serving worldwide markets since 1951. Roger Brown at Winks Lock and Safe in South Poplar, West Warren Street in Bucyrus, as well as Lee Plymo and Brad Seibert at the Plymo Insurance Group, Bucyrus and Gallion, Hannah Newton at Wendy's, downtown Bucyrus and Upper Sandusky, North Central State College Mansfield, and the Crawford Success Center in Bucyrus. Back with me, Assistant Coach Chris Moyer of Buckeye Central boys basketball. And Coach, all gets started this Friday, taking on Bucyrus, a team that you won 51-44 back right before the end of the year. And they're a team that is pesky too, and they probably should have a better record than they do. But that should be a really, really good game. It's a game at home. It'll be nice to get back at your home court and get an opportunity for another sweep, right?
Absolutely. Bucyrus is very similar to us. I know they're disappointed in the amount of wins. They're a bunch of kids that are just like us. They play hard, they compete, and it just seems like they can't get over the hump in the fourth quarter of being able to win some games. And surely they're looking at us wanting to get a win. And we've had battles for the last 4 years, and it's always a close game with Bucyrus.
Right. Saturday, you get a double weekend. You have to go up to New Regal. Currently, they're 10-6 overall, 7-5 in the SBC River Division. Always really solid basketball there. They don't have football, so a lot of their basketball games start early in the fall. and maybe their record's not where they want it to be, but still a quality team that'll be a tough draw.
You know, we played them, we beat them last year, but they had a very young lineup, and they've improved tremendously. Obviously, 10-6, and they play a pretty good schedule, kind of like we do. So it's definitely going to be a battle.
And then the final week of the regular season, it's kind of an NBA type schedule. Maybe your kids like that better, so they don't have to practice as much. But makeups and things have that well in hand. Next Tuesday, the 15th, at Gallion, a team that's 3-13 right now, 2-9 in the MOAC. But don't let that fool you. Very high flying. They want to get out, run the ball. They want to score a lot of points. They have scored a lot of points. We know how tough the MOAC is. That's going to be a tough game in and of itself.
Absolutely, it's going to be. It's going to be a clash of a team that wants to score 70 and a team that wants to hold them to 45.
Yeah.
You know, so they're very familiar with Gallion over the years, but they are playing much better. Have actually watched a little bit of film on them. They are playing, and they do want to get up down the point with floor and score some points.
And then you have your makeup game next Wednesday, the 16th, at Cary, a game that you weren't able to play this past Friday. You lost to them 61-46 back on January 10th. We know about them. It's all those football players that won a state championship. They have that mindset and that mentality. Again, maybe their record isn't as expected, but they've played a lot of games in a short amount of time as well, and they'll be ready to go for sure.
Yeah, their record isn't what they wanted, but that has a lot to do with the football. You know, it's well worth it to win a state championship to get started late, but 100% Cary's going to guard. We know that they're going to be physical, and they're going to get up and down the court. So we expect the same type of game as the first one. Just hopefully we can score a few more points. They're just very difficult, as Elber is, when they get into so much in the man-to-man defense, full court.
And then you finish the regular season a week from Friday against Winford, a team that you lost to 54-51 back on January 8th. And as I mentioned, I was at that game and very impressed with the way that you guys battled back and hung around and just couldn't get it done at the end. But always a great rivalry between those two teams, and really similar communities, similar kids. And I'm sure you and your kids love playing with them too.
Absolutely. That was a good battle. They got up, 14-15 right away early in the game, hit some shots, and then we battled back, take the lead before the quarter, and the kids remember it because they remember that feeling of feeling like we gave one away there the first time around. So obviously we're going to look forward to another. It seems like every night we got somebody, but Affiliator he's a good player, a good athlete, and plays the game the right way.
Yeah, and it'll be special. It'll be celebrating your seniors' last game on that court, and with that big group, that'll be a very special evening. Yesterday was the tournament draw, and you're going to get to play a familiar team to Coach Howell, his former team, New London. That will be played at Crestview 2 weeks from tomorrow night. That'll be at 7:30. New London having a tough year, currently 1-16 overall, 0-11 in the Fireland Conference. And if you can get by that game, you're going to get Margaretta, a very solid team out of Sandusky Bay Conference. That would be the sectional final on Friday the 25th at 7:30. Margaretta currently 14-3 overall, 7-1 in the SBC Bay Division. And talk about, were you happy overall with your draw of New London? Is that kind of how it worked out and that's what you wanted to be, or it's just the way that the seeds fell and that's where you had to go?
Well, obviously Margaretta is the #1 seed, so we didn't have much option there. We felt like South Central was the other game, and we played them earlier in the year, but we felt we were going to, it was play-in game, and New London we beat earlier this year, so it's an opportunity there, and we want a chance to compete against Margaretta. The kids, we talked to them tonight about it. We play in a tough league. The N10 is one of the better conferences in our area. Every night is a grind. And Margaretta's got Jake Leibarker, super player. And we know they're going to be physical as well. But if we can find a way to get through New London again, we want to play for a sectional championship.
Yeah, and I think back when I was preparing for the show tonight and wanted to talk about the tournament, I thought about the not this past football season, but the one prior when everybody got in the playoffs. And you guys started rattling off some games, even though the regular season wasn't as expected. That's what I envision that this team can do, and hopefully they can.
And we talked to them tonight. We got 5 games to finish, to get better. All 5 games are winnable to finish the season, but to get ready for the tournament, we don't have a conference championship to play for. So the tournament that's where you make your memories. Them are your lifelong memories when you get into the tournament.
That's for sure. Well, thanks so much for coming out tonight. I appreciate it, and we're winding down the season. And I just hope that you have really good luck coming up these last 5 games and a deep run in the tournament. And we look forward to covering you for sure.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. We'll take a break. We're coming back with Winford and the 4th grade girls basketball team right after this timeout.